CEO and founder of Element AI. So we're a company based out of Montreal in Canada. It's my third startup.
Oh, wow.
So 2 exits in the past, and started my first company at 20 years old, and worked really hard. Tough times, but had these 2 exits along the way. So it's been 18 years now that I build software solution for enterprises, and moreover, since all of these years I've been experimenting and transferring technology around artificial intelligence.
That's great. So I'm going to ask you a few questions. When will AI enter the human brain?
This is something that gets very scary. Huh? When we think about this technology, people, and even ourselves, like we feel threatened. The fact that a system, a machine, can now see like we see, a machine can talk like we talk. So it does mimic a lot of the abilities that we used to only have. And for the bulk of people, I can totally see why we would like question, hey, like, how is this gonna start to interact? The reality is, connection to our brain are still something we're only starting to experiment with, and all of the techniques that currently exist, even the most sophisticated one, are very intrusive, and the body reacts really hard. So the body attacks the connections. So there's a lot of fundamental problems still to this day, and making any brain to computer interface in the long run. My bet is we're still far away from starting to talk with machines and have these kind of interaction. But there's no fundamental reason it won't happen in the future.
That's interesting. What do you not want your personal AI to do?
I think that as we're discovering how this technology is powerful, and we're only early days. We're experimenting. It has capabilities that we have, but we're also discovering capabilities we don't have. And as we're entering that world, it is creating change, and it is pushing us to new frontier. A lot of these problems, the answer happens to be also artificial intelligence. So what I want my personal AI to do is to help me navigate that new complicated world and make sure that I'm on par, that it's there to protect me, that it's there to represent me, and make sure that it talks as fast as the machines are learning. That's my expectation for my personal AI.
That's good. What advice would you give a child who wants to enter the AI business?
As from now, I think the importance is for young people to study the fundamentals. The same way we're going to learn French, or at school, or English, or Spanish. You need to learn the language of machines. The fundamentals for our AI are mathematics, programming language, and data. Data is actually the language we're using right now to speak with machines. So we're training artificial intelligence algorithm by showing data. So these are the kind of fundamental techniques and the fundamental concept that a young child needs to get familiar with to start to play and enter this world.
That's interesting. Do you think women in corporate America go through more hoops?
So, the representation of women in tech in general is not sufficient. And there's lots of study on it. And we can look at the past and try to extract, why this and that. The reality is, I think the emphasis we're all putting in making sure that, not only women, but, this field that is going to be very transformative for the future, is inclusive of all diversity, is extremely important. The amplification that we're getting using this technology will take every little bias, every little mistake we make, and is going to amplify it. So we got to make sure that we have a fair representation, at the heart of people who do that. So it is extremely fundamental that we get a better representation. Right now, it is not sufficient. The investment and the emphasis is important, but let's not forget that it's not just about women and men, but also the whole diversity that we need to include, people from all culture, from all countries. And that's a huge challenge.
Now this is a fun question. Last but not least, if you were an animal, which animal would you be?
I'm a lion.
A lion?
Yes.
Okay. Why?
I'm lazy, but also I like to lead. I mean, it's an interesting species, and I mean, I'm born in August, so that's my astrological sign. So I'm always kind of refer. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
You.
It's been great interviewing you. Good luck with Element AI.
Thank you so much. All the best to you too.
Thank you.